What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait! You mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt? No, it doesn't. It just proves that he was pushed. Which, okay, is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal, blah, 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 let's save. Oops, already saved. If you have any more evidence to present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. Can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? I think, yeah, can I present that one? I'm terrified. I think I've already saved. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. All right, time's finally come to show it them. Those prints have got to be the chief's. Wait, no, what? Let's see, the evidence shows who actually murdered. It's this one. I can't show them that yet. What? Mr. Wright, if you're not so sure, then think it through again. How can you use that evidence to your advantage? What do I do now? I'd better think this through. Well, I have to show the evidence. Don't I? So she's thinking it's the cloth. If I present the cloth, it backs up his story. Okay. So, well, let's check this. Yeah, so it's been cut out of there. Yeah, that's the thing. So that's been cut out of there, which is what she's saying I should present, but it's got her prints on, so... It's a piece of leather cloth? Yes. Most likely was cut from the victim's vest, near his chest. What's this? A very obvious handprint. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Sky's. Emma Sky's. What? They're mine? So I really did do it? No.
Objection!
It's conclusive. This was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. Because it wasn't on the vest. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? Then how do you know I have it?
Objection!
But... Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No, I didn't. Well, I mean, she's already there. No. It appears we have our killer. What? No, what? This is dumb. I mean, everything hinged on that point. In the end. Wait, Lana was found guilty? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's stupid. That is incredibly dumb. We're going to reload. That's incredibly dumb. That's incredibly dumb. Because there are so many arguments you can make about it. That he put the handprint on there. It was cut before Lana was there. So she hasn't seen the handprint and then cut it off. And, oh no, you can't make that argument. No. I'm actually annoyed now. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. Because that is stupid. There's no argument out of it when there's clear arguments around it. And we're letting him testify, having said he can't. If you're trying to consider, so we'll say no because there's no other evidence that will count. Cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? Abdomen. Chest is probably a little bit too high. It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. Oh, sorry. It looks like something's been cut out. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. He's admitted to concealing evidence now. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Raito. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? Whoa, he can't testify. He can't testify! But the whole point is he can't testify! I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her. So now he's admitting to blackmail. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene she would ask for my aid. So you assisted, Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I end up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl had committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. Didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Oh ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Raito, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Raito. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. I'm going to save, because I think the answer is we say we can't show it because it's not a registered piece of evidence. too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, it'd just expose that poor girl's fingerprints. Right? Think hard over the circumstances? I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Weren't you waiting for that difference? Edgeworth figured out my plan. Mr. Wright, this is your only chance. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor. So I present this, I assume, is what we're presenting. I should have saved. Verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean... It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh, ho, ho! You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. That's such a jump. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. What are you talking about, man? The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is... Well, it's Emma. I don't think there's a point in lying. Emma? Emma Skye? Wait, what? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, ho, ho, ho! You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. It's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster. You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence that, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge too, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. Who said that? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh? And what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, the tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. I think it's this one. Because that's got to be relevant. Oh, because he did say that's not yet. Oh, 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 oh. It's fun watching you squirm, Righto. This piece of evidence does indeed seem to contradict everything. Your outward appearance of mental sanity. What are you talking about, game? That's the murder weapon. Right. I don't save when I should. Let's save now. This is so dumb. Because in like 5 minutes, I'm going to have to present that. But I'm not doing it at the right point. I shouldn't have just played through this entire section, because I'm just getting irritable now. Definitely not right. It's too late to turn back now. You're the only one who can put an end to this. Chief Gant, you're too... Hold the piece of evidence that contradicts the... It should let me save here. I have no clue what it's talking about then. What is it... Because I thought it was that... Maybe I do the picture. We'll try the picture. Okay, no. Just squirm righto. This piece of evidence does not... Shut up. Yeah, I'm getting irritable. I'm getting irritable. It's dumb. It's dumb that you can't save when you're at that point. You have to know when you can when's the last point you can save. And I'm not even sure what it actually contradicts, because this is just sending me the cloth, isn't it? Okay, so there's nothing there. It's just the handprint. Handprint, yes, someone left behind it. Person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor, getting wax all over their hand. Okay, so waxy floor. But I don't think that helps, right? That's not right. Let's try that one. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. Has he like been lifted up? See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes. Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly. There's no blood on this one. Ah, I see. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it. There we go, okay. Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved you were the actual murderer. No! Good grief. It's finally over. Hooray! Hooray.